phone in my hand.
Work hard, sacrifices, discipline, time away from my family. How you gonna beat me?
You finna see the champ at his goddamn best of the best of the best of the best.
I promise you none of these niggas gonna beat me. None of them. I'm gonna make an example out of Teo. That's the only thing I love. Hey Teo, I'm gonna bust up your eyes, I'm gonna whoop your ass, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You better be ready, boy. Like, I felt like you knew how little Lomachenko was, and you kind of capitalized off of that.
Heck no, that man was a lot to deal with. Y'all don't understand, the man was #1.
Yeah,
over
sure.
Canelo, over Crawford, over Inu.
But you don't think that the size of finish kind of helped you?
Bro, styles make fights, not the size.
I agree with that. I'm with you on that. But for the first 6 rounds, he didn't punch.
Because I didn't let him.
You didn't let him punch?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I want to see this magic. Must be magic.
In the high-stakes world of elite boxing, some stories are written in the ring, but the most dangerous ones are born in the shadows of a gym 5 years before the cameras ever start rolling. Back in 2016, inside a humid Miami training center, 2 of the sport's most polarizing prodigies stepped through the ropes for a sparring session that was never supposed to leave the building. On one side, you had the clinical, defensive wizard Shakur Stevenson. On the other, the explosive, unpredictable firecracker Teofimo Lopez. Both were stablemates under the Top Rank banner, both were the next big thing, and both were fighting for alpha status. But according to the rumors that have haunted both camps ever since, that session didn't end with a handshake. It ended with a demand. Stop the recording.
I mean, we were stablemates, me and Shakur, Top Rank. He talks about this and that, and about, I was jealous of him. No, I'm not. You were a 2016 USA silver medalist. You're gonna get your signing bonus and all that extra stuff. Thing was, they were trying to secure him in a different route because they had put a lot of money in him. Me, I think I was just supposed to be an opponent eventually.
Teofimo Lopez hasn't forgotten that day, and as the countdown to January 31st intensifies, he's making sure the world knows his version of the truth. He claims he wasn't just competitive, he claims he was dismantling the man many call the unbeatable defensive king. He talks about seeing the frustration in Shakur's eyes, a look of realization that the hit and don't get hit philosophy doesn't work when someone is fast enough to close the gap and strong enough to make you regret it. This isn't just a fight for a belt or a legacy, this is a decade-long grudge finally reaching its boiling point, and the training camps we're seeing today suggest that neither man is planning on leaving anything to chance.
Teofimo Lopez says that he's going to fight Shakur Stevenson dirty.
Stylistically, when you see a fighter like him, it is not illegal to do certain punches and throw certain punches or hit certain areas.
I heard that concept from an icon.
That's the credit on how masterful he is. You have to be dirty, you gotta be rough, you have to use the elbows, head, bending up, you have to use everything. This guy, as far as his style is concerned, this guy is a master fighter.
And though Shakur Stevenson is no Floyd Mayweather, he is considered probably the most superior, technically sound boxer in the world. So with Teofimo Lopez saying, hey, I'm gonna do things that people may think is dirty, but it's legal. I can't fight in a very sound sportsmanship manner. I have to create chaos. And maybe Shakur Stevenson, maybe he can't operate in the chaos.
Inside Teofimo Lopez's camp, the atmosphere is one of controlled chaos. He's pushing himself through segments that would break most world-class athletes before they even reach the halfway mark. We're talking about 18-ounce gloves, heavy, lead-like weights that make every punch feel like swinging a sledgehammer. He's doing an hour of high-intensity training with 0 breaks, just to see how far his lungs can expand and how much his heart can take. He's swimming, he's lifting, and he's shadowboxing with weights to keep his ligaments loose. It's a brutal, old-school approach designed to transform him into a machine that doesn't just win, but flatlines the opposition. Teo isn't just training for a boxing match, he's training for an execution. He's obsessed with proving that Shakur Stevenson is a made-up superstar who only looks good because he hasn't faced a real threat at 140 pounds.
None of them. I'm gonna make an example out of Teo. That's the only thing I love. I promise they got me fucked up. Work hard, sacrifices, discipline, time away from my family. How you gonna beat me? Ain't no way you can beat me that way, bro. Why I keep saying I'm the best. Niggas don't want this shit more than me. I know it. I know it. I want this shit so bad. So bad. Shit easy, yeah?
Easy, man.
Easy.
Always easy, man.
You already know.
Always easy, man.
But while Teofimo is loud and explosive, Shakur Stevenson is operating in a state of deadly silence. There is a different kind of energy coming out of his camp, a clinical, surgical focus that is starting to worry the experts. For years, the knock on Shakur was that he was too small, a skinny kid who relied on his legs to stay out of trouble. Those days are gone. Witnesses from inside his camp, like Gary Antoine Russell, are reporting a physical evolution that borders on the frightening. They're calling it grown man strength. Shakur isn't just dancing anymore, he's developing a beefy frame that allows him to hold his ground in a physical wrestling match. He's cycling through sparring partners, staying in the middle of the ring while fresh bodies hop in and out, and he's doing it with a composure that makes him look invincible.
A lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, you know, they've got the weight and all that. I see Shakur boxing big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like moves, you know, he box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then it all according how Teo come in. If Teo come at him, you know, he gonna run into some shots.
This contrast in styles has the boxing world divided, and the critiques are getting personal. Regis Prograis recently threw a massive wrench into the narrative, claiming that while Teofimo is athletically gifted, he is fundamentally weak-minded. It's a shocking accusation for a two-division champion, but Prograis points to the moments where Teofimo seems to drift mentally when things get difficult. He looks great when he's winning, but when a master of the sport like Shakur starts sneaking in counterpunches you can't see, frustration sets in. And in boxing, frustration is the first step toward a knockout. If Teofimo can't handle the psychological torture of chasing a ghost for 12 rounds, his explosive chaos might just turn into an embarrassing collapse.
I think he wins it comfortably. Yeah, I think he wins it comfortably. I think, you know, Shakur, I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You know, you can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. You know, now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles in. You know, he does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does struggle. And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. You know, it might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then after that, I feel like, you know, Shakur is probably going to start stepping up, and Teo's going to try to hit him, and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, you know, and that's the ones that hurt the most when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, yeah, I feel like Shakur is going to beat him comfortably. Now, not a knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds for sure.
Have you sparred Lopez before?
I never sparred Teo, no, never.
The debate over the blueprint is where things get truly interesting. Tim Bradley, one of the most respected voices in the game, has been vocal about the fact that while everyone knows how Teofimo can lose, pressure, mental fatigue, and erratic decision-making, nobody has found the key to the Shakur Stevenson lock. There is no map. No one has figured out how to make him uncomfortable. He's a ring general who treats the canvas like a chessboard, and every move he makes is 3 steps ahead of his opponent. He doesn't need raw power to beat you. He uses precision. He sneaks those shots through the gaps, those little touches that don't look like much to the crowd but feel like needles to the fighter. It's the kind of style that makes a champion look like an amateur, and it's exactly what Teofimo's camp is trying to prepare for.
How fast can you calculate what's going on? Because Teo struggles with that, man. Calculating, yeah, he struggles with that. Yeah, he got a nice little catch and shoot game. He does. Anytime Shakur, if he throw that left hand, he should expect that right hand uppercut. He got a catch and shoot game. He does. Yeah. Hit the mug. It's automatic. Like a Venus flytrap. You know what I'm saying? That fly down there. And just close it down. Clamp it down. Yes. Hey, Teofimo, as soon as he feels contact, bow, he coming back with an uppercut. Or bow, coming back with the right hand. You got to expect that. But Southpaw versus Orthodox, you already know how difficult that can be. Your jab hand is hindered because you got the jab hands on the same side. You occupy that, Shakur, just like Crawford did with Canelo, and you force him to use his damn right hand. Force his ass to use that right hand, man. Yeah. Make him use that right hand. Make him lunge in with that right hand and counter the shit out of him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See? Footwork gonna be very important in this fight, man. Shakur got better footwork than Teofimo Lopez. Oh, Teofimo Lopez can move laterally. Oh, he's sweet moving laterally. But there's a lot of mistakes with all that lateral movement, man. And his hands down and how he get out of position. All of that stuff. Nah, that shit ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Shakur gonna be walking his ass down. Hey, under control. Feet gonna be underneath him. Getting out the damn way. Yeah. But anyways, man, Tim doesn't storm Bradley. You already know the rest. Shakur ain't got to run. He ain't got to. I'm telling y'all, he ain't gonna do that shit. He gonna be right there. He gonna be right there in front of him. Like, let's go. It's on. Because the minute that Teofimo Lopez feel like he dominant, man, and if you don't give him nothing to worry about, he gonna walk straight through you.
But let's talk about the danger of getting greedy. Oscar Valdez, who has shared the ring with Shakur, recently gave some chilling advice to Teofimo. He warned that if you try to set the tone without a perfect game plan, Shakur will simply invite you into his world and let you drown. It's a frustrating, suffocating experience. You throw a punch, he rocks back an inch, and he touches you. You load up for a big shot, he's gone, and he touches you again. It's a cycle that leads to silly moves, and in a fight of this magnitude, one silly move is all it takes to go night-night. Teofimo is betting everything on the idea that his speed and power can overcome Shakur's intelligence, but history shows that brawn usually loses to brains when the stakes are this high.
I could say not getting greedy inside the ring with him, not losing focus, not letting him get into his game plan when it comes to invite you, because there's no option. There's either you fight his game or you fight no game. Because we see him with Dos Santos, he didn't try to put the pressure on him, and it was an extremely somewhat boring fight because neither or was trying to set the tone inside the ring. So if you're gonna set the tone with someone with Shakur, you better have a game plan, because the guy he's gonna be patient. He's not gonna get off his game plan to fall into your trap. So if I'm Teofimo Lopez's coach, I would tell him not to lose focus, not to get frustrated inside the ring. Stick to your game plan, whatever game plan it is. If it's A, B, C, whatever it is, stick to it and go for it. But someone like Shakur Stevenson, like I said, it's easier said than done with a fighter like that, because it's not like he's too back from you. He's just right there in your face, and once you throw, he just rocks back a little bit and touches you. Then it becomes very frustrating. Then when you start loading up, then he does it again. He starts loading up at his shots, but just outboxing you. So I would just say it's like I said, it's a tough one for me to pick who will come out victorious. That's why I go with the 50-50.
As we get closer to January 31st, the narratives are set. You have Teofimo, the God-gifted athlete who believes he was born to shatter the myth of the defensive wizard. He's pushing his body to the absolute limit, fueled by a grudge that started in a private gym a decade ago. Then you have Shakur, the clinical master who is quieter, stronger, and more focused than we've ever seen him. He's not interested in the drama, he's interested in the deadly silence that follows a perfectly executed game plan. This isn't just about who has the faster hands or the harder punch. It's about whose mind will break first when the lights are at their brightest and the world is watching.
Okay, with that being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosiveness. He's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that he have to be ready to defend, because with Shakur the return is always coming. So he got to go into the offensive lane, but he have to go into it with good defense, which in my opinion he really don't do that good when he's going into offense. He usually come in to an offense lane like with his lead hand down, coming with head movement. But I just believe when you do get closer to Shakur, he's going to have to overload with work. He's going to have to really double up with one hand. He's going to have to use his feet, bust angles, things of that nature. So, me picking Shakur come across as if Teo is not as gifted as he is, but I believe he's just in with a much more gifted athlete.
Okay, given that then, does Shakur just have to fight his fight the way he normally does, or is he gonna have to pull out extra? Like, do we see an extra wrinkle, extra level that Shakur needs to go to in this fight with Teo?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for Shakur to work off the ropes as much as he's used to doing. I think against Teo, you're taking a chance of giving him an opportunity to get good shots off. And I also believe that Teo is a much more heavy-handed puncher than Shakur, so I think it's a danger zone for Shakur on the ropes. Now, one would say, well, why would you say that? Shakur fight pretty good off the ropes. He roll with shots, he dip under. Yeah, he does with the opposition he's been in the ring with lately. I think this is the best opponent he's fought under the lights. Teo is the best opponent that he fought, and I just think that him being on the ropes, them are the times that Teo is going to have success if those times happen. But I think
whether you're expecting a high-level chess match or a brutal physical war, one thing is certain: the version of these two men that steps into the ring on fight night will be the most dangerous versions of themselves we've ever seen. Teofimo is looking to silence the doubters who call him erratic, and Shakur is looking to prove that there truly is no blueprint for greatness. If you value strategy as much as you value heart, this is the one you can't afford to miss. In a sport where everything can change with a single punch, the real battle is happening in the minds of these two champions long before the first bell rings. And that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.